Selling on Takealot is pretty tough, especially in the beginning, but honestly, the most difficult part for me has always been finding products that are going to sell. I've wasted far too much money on products that I thought were a great idea, look good quality products, but they just never sold. And this applies for Takealot, Amazon, whether you're selling in a Shopify store too. That all changed when I came across this platform. They reached out to me over a year ago, and I thought they were just another, software reaching out to try sponsor videos or something. This is not sponsored, don't worry. And I asked them for a free trial for myself, selfishly, and it actually found me at least 3 of our best selling products ever. So I wanted to share that with you today because I do think if you're like me and you just hate wasting time, I think this will be a huge time saver. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'll be sharing some of the notes here. Make sure this is on. Yep. All right. And first up here, this is the software that made me thousands. Okay. Please note. All right. I'm not saying that this made me millions. Not millions. Okay. There's too many people out here saying like, oh, and bragging about stuff that maybe is true, but oftentimes is not. So I wanted to be realistic with you. Every single product that we found here did go on to sell thousands, right? And yeah, I can very confidently say that, and I'm very thankful that we were able to find those products that became our best sellers. So we can go on to this, right? The goal for all of us, I believe we have 2 main goals if you're in this sort of space, right? The first one is to make lots of money, okay? Make lots of money, selling winning products. Now, I don't think that everyone cares about this over here, the winning products part, but I think you should. Obviously, if we just got this over here, the money, I think we'd be super happy. If we want that money to last long and to keep coming in, we want to make sure that we are selling winning products. And that's simply because winning products get great reviews, they get purchased again, and they get recommended to friends. So I believe our 2 biggest goals should be make lots of money selling winning products. No other way to put it, right? There is an issue though, the problem. All right, and we'll be discussing the problem now. Essentially, selling on marketplaces is pretty easy. You can get used to how to sell, how to package, where to put your stickers, get used to shipping things with courier. It's a steep learning curve, but after like 2-3 months, it becomes pretty second nature. I would say though, again, finding winning products is probably the toughest part. Again, you can go onto Google Trends and do all those things, and I've made a video on that in the past, but even I struggled with that, right? Like to me, it hasn't been that helpful. Like I can't confidently tell you to go use it and you're going to see crazy amount of sales come in, or you're going to find the next winning product, because it didn't happen for me. It gave me some good insight to trends, but again, finding winning products was difficult. This is a big problem because it's wasted resources, okay? And if we look at some of these resources, first up is time. It's your time. Now, maybe you don't even have the time to waste, right? Maybe you don't have a job and you're trying to make this work, which is very difficult. I wouldn't recommend it if you're starting out. Hopefully you've got a job. But even if you do have a job, I got frustrated with how much time I was wasting not making progress, just searching, chatting to manufacturers, wasting money on products. So time is a big thing. Obviously, I just said it there, money's another one, right? If we're not finding winning products, that means that we're buying bad products, and those products are going to have a high return rate if they even get purchased, or they're not even going to be purchased, they're not searchable. So that becomes a big issue as well, is the money. And the last one is joy. Now, this seems like a silly one, but this is a big thing. I think it links in maybe with both of them. The less time and the less money you have, without getting too deep, usually that, low battery mode. Let's hope it makes it. But without time and money, it can be quite frustrating, right? Because you're not getting along this journey, you're not getting to where you want to go. So these for me are important to note, right? We do not want to be wasting these resources. Now, if you are interested in finding winning products, right, that can make you money while saving you time, then this app I think that I'm going to be sharing with you is going to be a great thing. And I did reach out to them. I asked for a discount for everyone that was watching, and they offered an amazing 10% off for the first 3 months using code Romero. They don't pay me for this, but I will get a small percentage just to be transparent with you. But again, they don't see this video until you do, probably after you're seeing it. And I did just ask them for a bit of a discount because again, I genuinely back this and I've used this a lot. And it will be the first link in the bio. So over there, you can go have a look. The discount code should be there too, so no stress. Now, essentially, this platform, which is called Takealytics, helps you find products, right? The biggest thing for me, which is really amazing, is this isn't just hypothetical ideas, because that's what caught me in the beginning. This, you actually end up searching real products currently on Takealot, right? So products that are actually selling, you can then go see, so over here, if we zoom in for you to see this section, you can see the price, how much is the product selling for. So this is retailing for 310 Rand. You can see the review. So you can see this product has 32 reviews as an example with a 4.8 star rating. So these are things over here that I look out for. I want a product with ratings because that means purchases, and not just purchases. People like the product enough to make the effort to go leave a review. And I don't know if you're like me, but I don't leave too many reviews because of that. It takes time. But if I really love something, I leave a review. So there's that. And then this is very interesting, is competitors. Essentially, you can see how many people are in a buy box. I will say this isn't 100% accurate, not due to Takealytics, but because Takealytics is plugging in with Takealot and their data. If you've shopped around on Takealot, you can see not everything is categorized super well into buy boxes and all sorts. So won't get too deep, but if it says 0 competitors, still go in and search for this product, or just click these 3 little dots here and then it will open up the product in Takealot so you can go see. And then what's really cool is you can see sales over the last 30 days. So that would be units, how many units sold in the last 30 days, and then revenue in the last 30 days. So I can see this product sold 2,000 Rand in the last month. Now, if you're new to selling on Takealot, 30 days is a very key term, because essentially everything that you do on Takealot, they measure in 30 days. How long is your stock sitting? How many sales have you made in the last 30 days to calculate your stock cover and things. So that's quite big. And when you search, you can filter. Like for me, I only filtered in categories that I wanted to sell in. So I looked at coffee equipment, I looked at electronics, things that I personally knew a bit more, just to make the process a little bit easier. With that, you are also able to find the titles here and then the categories, which is really cool. And if there's a brand, now I would usually search for unbranded, filter that out, and then I would go through these and just get inspired. I'd open them up, I'd see their pictures, I'd look at the keywords that they're using. Again, if they're making lots of sales, then you want to use those keywords, because sometimes you sell the same product or similar product, but you're calling it by its technical name, but people aren't typing that into the search bar. And we need to think about Takealot and Amazon as more search engines, right? I'm looking for a Apple Pen alternative, and then I go type that in. So it doesn't matter what this brand is. There's no point this calls a amazing switch. I don't know, silly example, but think about what people are going to be typing in, searching for your product. Okay. So if we go look here, essentially I would look down the list and look for key things. Obviously the bigger numbers, I always filter, a product that's doing a minimum of 5,000 Rand every 30 days or so, preferably higher. So over here I can see this product down here is doing 60,000 with 302 sales. Now, this over here is crucial. You want a product that moves, right? Where stock is clearing. So if this is selling 302 units in 30 days, that's crazy, right? That's about 30 a day. We can go see what it is, and it's got great reviews, which is rare. And we can see that this is a multi-purpose wood carving disc. All right. And obviously I'd go click on and see exactly what that is within the application. Now, something like that, I would never think of being a good product to sell, but clearly at 199 and bringing in 60,000, it's performing well. Is this profitable? I don't know, because I haven't imported that specific product, but those are the kind of things that I would go to. We went through this and I found a consumable that I never thought of bringing in. This consumable I ended up sourcing. I was actually able to get it locally from a South African company that was Chinese, but South African company. It was a consumable. We had never done that. We had to get our LOC licensing to be able to sell, edible goods. Consumables are making it sound a bit more dodgy than it is. We did that, it got approved, and we didn't even realize how low the Takealot fees were for that product. So the profit margin was insane on it. Like, I think we were sitting at about 85% gross profit, or 80%, 75 to 80% gross profit after Takealot fees. Guys, that's insane. So big thanks to this platform for helping us find that. Again, it's something that I wouldn't have looked at. The other thing over here that was interesting is within the coffee niche, we were able to find some tools, and which will go to the next section of here. So once you find your products, we can go down and we can start looking again. I kind of reviewed all of this. We can see this rating obviously over here, is it up or down, and then we can see how the sales is doing over the last 30 days. So based on last month, are these sales climbing or are they decreasing, and the revenue. Now we can filter those products. Obviously, if you don't want to sell in the tool niche or anything, then you can filter that out. The next step is super cool and important, and that would be this over here. So to track the products, right? The live sales, live more or less, obviously probably a few hours behind. But essentially, once you've liked a few products, you can add them over here to this product tracker. And what that does is, a great example would be seasonal items. Let's say a Christmas hat. Obviously, if you look at that product in December, at the end of December, or at the end of November even, just before that season, and it's selling 500 units, and you go, wow, that's amazing, let's buy it, and you source it in January, you post it at the end of January, you start selling in February. Well, if you sell maybe one or two, you'd be lucky, right? Because that was a seasonal good. So the sales up here can be pretty deceiving. Well, not deceiving, you just need to apply some common sense. Is this a seasonal item? So that's why it's always good to track it. Some products I tracked for about 2 months before I purchased it. Also very cool, you can technically use this to spy on your competition. You can track their products, so you can go to their product on Takealot, copy, I think it's the PLID that we need to put in here, or one of the numbers, maybe the URL, I can't quite remember. And then over here, you go to track product, and you add this product. And now it will start tracking from the time that you put it inside here until the time that you stop tracking it. And then this is cool again. We can obviously, if we zoom in over here, or if we see this section, we can see that we can look at the revenue. So we can see how much are they making in a 24-hour span over there. So more or less per day. We can see total sales since you've been tracking, total revenue since you've been tracking, and then obviously the time over here that you've tracked. Sorry, it's a bit messy over there. The time that you've tracked the product as well. Again, this is just an example. You can see what it is. And I wanted to use this weird Impulse plastic heat sealer 300 millimeters as an example. Let's say you found this product and you go, okay, cool. This is, selling 2 in the last 24 hours, which means for 4 days it didn't sell. And we can see how much money came in also in the last 2 days. So we say, okay, maybe this item's selling well, we want to bring it in. Now we go on to sourcing the product. Let's go, for example, for this, obviously a more generic good, let's go with Alibaba, and we start chatting to manufacturers. Now, we can then find the price from Alibaba, okay? And this is just one random listing that I found for this video. And we can see that it's, let's say, 153 Rand. Now, if you've ever sourced from Alibaba, please never believe these numbers or their shipping prices. It's almost always going to be cheaper than that, unless they try scam you, which happens. But it's almost always going to be cheaper than that. So I would still always chat to the manufacturers. But let's just go with this being the real price. I look at this and I see that this is currently retailing for 293. Now already, quick maths, man's not hot. I can tell that this is not a good product for me because I'm not going to bring in 10,000 units of this to be able to reduce this price down. So I'm going to be bringing in maybe 20 or 50 units. And so I know that China won't give me much more of a discount, this manufacturer. So already I can see there's not enough profit margin here for me personally, as is unbranded. Now, a quick little cheat formula that I use all the time. And I'll be putting out I've actually built a little calculator as well, which I'll see if I can put the link for that in the description. Just a nice little calculator. But essentially there's a quick little cheat formula. And the way that I use it is this one over here. So we can see we take the Ali cost because this is in Rand, we times it by 2. That's going to give you the rough landing price. That's just from my experience when shipping 10 to 50 units, maybe 100 units by air freight. Okay, so especially if you're starting out, you're busy growing. I just have a lot of smaller shipments coming rather than huge shipments on containers. If you're doing that, you're probably not watching this video. Okay, let's just be real. So I take that Ali cost, I times it by 2. That's going to give me a rough landing cost. That's going to cover some import fees. It will cover DHL shipping, etc. And that's just straight from the manufacturer. I'm not going through third party for that. Haven't found the need. It usually works out more expensive. I take that rough landing cost, all right, and I times that by 2.5. I call it the magic multiplier. Let me know if I spelled that right in the comments. But I call this a magic multiplier because it just averages out. I prefer using 3, and for higher ticket items, I can obviously drop that down to 2. And that's going to give us our RRP, recommended retail price. Now, the reason this is 2.5 is we sometimes repackage some goods. Obviously, Takealot will take a little bit of, or will take some money for fees and for transportation. So with this size good over here, this sort of size, that's just how much I found that works out. Usually at the end of this recommended retail price will give me about 20% minimum, but usually I try land a 30% gross profit margin after Takealot fees. That's what I'm trying to look at. And if I can get that and move a good amount of volume because it's got proven sales, I'm happy with that. Obviously, wherever possible, jump that up. So that consumable I told you about, we were profiting way more. Let me get to the next part quickly. So you do this, right? Let's work on this price, 154 times 2 times 2.5, that equals 770. So that's just quick maths. Before I even chat to the manufacturer, maybe right after I get price from them, I go, okay, cool, times 2 times 2.5, 770. Then I ask myself, can I sell this? What was that? Can I sell this for 770? Like, how does that fit in with the market? If I can fit it in, yes, then perfect. Let's take this conversation further. Let's even put more thought and time into this. But if I can't, then cool. Let's just one time go back to this list over here, and we can then move on to the next product and the next product, and we can go through like that. And obviously from here, we can already start. Let me just highlight a random one. Let's go this one over here. Cool, this Rubik's Cube is looking good. So I'm going to keep tracking that, and I'm going to chat to a supplier. They've sold, it's actually interesting, 26 sales. So that's cool. I actually have one of those. Any case. And then the blend and snap. So example, I got no clue what that is. But let's say we're going to go with this, and we start identifying. And then as we find ones that we don't like, we can just say, cool, well, this hasn't even sold. Shame that we've only been tracking it 2 days. Give it more time. But we can say we're not interested in this one. We're not interested in this one as an example. And then you replace this one and this one with new products to track. And you just keep that going. It's way easier. All right. Now, some things that can contribute to this over here and this price is maybe selling it unbranded. Yes, you can't maybe sell it for 770. But a perfect example of when we broke this rule, there was a tool which is called a WWDT. It kind of, what am I doing? Whew. Okay, let's go with this picture. It's got this magnetic stand, and then these over here are little like needles, and then you mix espresso grounds for coffee. That is a pathetic drawing, so ignore it. But there was one that was just selling it like this, okay? Just a loose one, which actually ends up looking better in my picture. And it was selling for about 300 Rand. Now, when I did this calculation, it was a no for me because I was just going to make enough money. It wasn't really worth it to fit in with the current market. But there was only 2 of these. There was only 2 of these on the market on Takealot for quite a while. And this specific product was busy trending a lot on YouTube and everything. So I thought to myself, well, if I just get one as the upper market or slightly more premium brand, I can perfectly fit in here. There's not much competition, and I could double that price. Well, we started selling ours. Remember, so this one here was about, I think it was like, let's call it 350. I think it was 329 or something. 350. We first sold ours for 500 rand. They started selling out too quickly. We thought, whoa, we can't keep up. We were waiting for another shipment. It was Chinese New Year. If you don't know about that, Google it. It's long. All right. So then we went up to 600. And we thought, this is still going. It's still selling. And I think we ended up on 699 being the place where it evened out. And it was selling. These were also selling because we tracked both of them. We used the tool to track the competitions and ours. But we were selling the same amount, the same quantity, and we were sourcing it at the same price. But we were selling it for is that more than double? 350, yeah, more or less. We were able to sell it for essentially for double, right? All that we did to differentiate is we got one that had a stand so that it looks different. It makes more sense when you're comparing the two to justify the price. We made sure that it was good materials. We put a logo on it, and we asked the manufacturer to custom brand it. And then when it landed, we threw it out of the very generic cheap boxes, and I got custom boxes printed in or cut out in Joburg, sent them down, made a nice little custom sticker for it, and we were able to sell this and wholesale it. So not only sell on Takealot, sell on our Shopify store, and send to other distributors or other retailers, and they would sell it for us, and it was in cafes being sold. And we sourced it at the same price as this one. All that we did differently was obviously brand it and choose little small things that made it stand out. Now, if I were to look at this one and I had to ask myself, can I do it with this, which falls into year, also ask yourself under year. But if I had to ask myself, can I do it with this? Maybe, but probably not really, right? I don't know how much more people are willing to pay for something that's going to seal, especially if this product over here has reviews and good reviews. I think people will go with the cheaper thing. So you have to apply some common logic. But that is the cheap formula. I believe that's the end. Absolutely. So I hope this helped you. I will be making a video on some other ways to do this as well. But if not, check out one of these two videos over here that will help you along with your Takealot and e-commerce journey. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.